But black card is my business card, the way it be setting the tone for me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Mary Payton with All About STEM Radio. As you know, I come to you here every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Central Time on the Blue Stream. Well, it's another beautiful day here in Texas, and I got my beautiful view looking at Six Flags Over Texas here, and my handsome producer, Gary, who's taking care of me again. And, we got to look at the things that's going on here in Arlington because that's where I am today. The Arlington Museum of Art, their new exhibit comes up on the 27th. It's the Upsizing of Texas Tradition is having this, and they're talking about mums. If you are a Texas high school student, you know about mums. So please come by the Arlington Museum of Arts and take a look at that because mums are a tradition. Because if you didn't get one during homecoming, you were not a happy camper. Also, Fishbowl is having their 10th annual Sharky Awards next month coming up on October 19th. So, if you want to get tickets to that, please feel free to contact Fishbowl Radio Network. I don't know. I think they're getting close to being out, but please, go online, vote for your the show that you like. My show is, I'm nominated as female broadcaster for the year. I think that's what it's called. I may be saying it wrong, but please vote for me because I would like that. And also, I have another fabulous guest. Now, this show is called All About STEM Radio, but we can't become STEM people unless we go to college or go to trade school or go to something. Learn a trade, learn a skill, learn something in high school, so on and so forth. But we all know that college is very, very expensive. And I have Miss Gail here. Miss Gail here. She is called the Scholarship Lady. And she will tell you all about scholarships, how to get them, why you need to get them. I've got some questions and things for her to lead her in. So would you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Valerie Gill, the Scholarship Lady. Been working with students for the last 9 years, not just throughout the DFW area, but throughout the United States via online or face-to-face.
All right. So before we get into what the Scholarship Lady does, I have some questions.
That's right.
I have some things I want to discuss. What is a scholarship? Some of my audience, think scholarship, it's just money for school. What is a scholarship?
A scholarship is money for school that is offered by organizations, corporations, for students to help them reduce the cost of their secondary education.
Okay. Now, is this money that they have to pay back, or is this money that when they graduate, they'll be out of school semi-debt free?
It's money that does not have to be paid back.
Okay.
And it will help to hopefully keep them debt free if they apply and awarded enough scholarships.
Okay. Now, who can apply for scholarships?
I start with students at the age of 13.
Okay.
But they have scholarships as young as kindergarten students.
Okay.
And it goes all the way up to PhD level.
Now, I didn't know they had them as young as kindergarten. I know I've seen scholarships for students that are, in the third grade and up. But that is outstanding. And they'll hold that money for them until they graduate and get ready to go to college?
Yes.
The organizations will?
And that's the goal once they're awarded, that they will hold it for the student until they get to 12th grade, and then upon graduation, that money would flow to the college of their choice.
Okay. Well, when should students start applying for scholarships? Because, I taught high school for a while, and a lot of my students did not even apply for scholarships or financial aid or anything until they were seniors in high school, their last semester being a senior just before they graduated.
Right. And I try to start to work with students in middle school.
Yep.
So 13 is that close to perfect age to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way through high school, and even when you're in college, there is still money available.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because a lot of them don't apply for it. When they're in college, they think that they're just in there. And that's one of the things that I have really enjoyed about some of our HBCUs is they continuously teach our students how to get financial aid so that they can stay in college, because getting in college, you can get in there, but you got to make sure you can stay in there for those 4 years.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. And money is getting harder and harder and harder to come by. Now, we've kind of spoke about when, but really, what is the best time frame for students to start looking for financial aid?
The best time frame is ninth grade.
Ninth grade, yep.
Get
Okay.
into ninth grade and start applying for scholarships, start your community service, and always paying it forward, because certain scholarships do look for any volunteer or scholar or community service that you have been working on, and try to do something monthly.
Monthly,
Not
okay.
just, let's just feed the homeless for Thanksgiving. We can feed the homeless every single month.
Yeah, yep.
So be consistent with your volunteer and community service hours. But ninth grade is prime time to start and then continue. Even if you're awarded, what's the worst case scenario? You're overfunded, you have an excess, because college tuition keeps going up.
Oh, yes.
So though you may be awarded enough money for that first year, what about the second and the third?
Yeah, yep. And that's so true, because when you go that first semester, that first year, that does not mean you're gonna have money the rest of the time.
Correct.
And you get in there, and you have those students that's gonna help you figure out how to get a loan. Oh, they all know how to get loans, but you're right. Those scholarships keep you from being in debt when you graduate.
Yes, and there's more than enough money to go around, because last year $8 billion worth of scholarships were left on the table.
What?
Untouched funds because no one applied, or they didn't submit everything that was asked of them to submit for that application.
Oh, okay. Well, audience, I have Miss Valerie Gill here, who is sweetly known as the scholarship lady. And if you have any questions, please give her a call here at 214-431-5062. That's 214-431-5062, because if you've got questions about scholarships and how to get them, or when to apply, or anything like that, and you can be in college or still in high school or middle school, please give us a call here and ask the questions, because I got the scholarship lady here, and this is a great opportunity. And I'm saying that because I'm fit to lead into something else.
Okay.
When we talk about scholarships, a lot of us think that our high school counselor is supposed to help to get our students scholarships, or our kids scholarships. What is their responsibility truly?
They will assist to some level
Uh-huh.
of giving you different websites, and your high school or your ISD will offer scholarships when you're in that 12th grade year.
Yeah.
But it's just a couple. It's
Okay.
not going to be enough to cover all 4 years or even that first year of college.
Yeah.
So though they may give you websites to look at, our students have to understand, if you're not paying attention to the website you're going on,
Yeah.
3 clicks later, you're off the site you even started on.
Okay.
So almost every company you see offers a scholarship. But their main concern, or what you see on their website when you get on, is whatever product or services they're selling. So you
Yeah.
have to be able to maneuver and manipulate through their website in order to find the actual scholarship application.
Okay. All right. So, because I mean, I hear it all the time when I was teaching. They would announce, we have this scholarship open and we have that scholarship open. But if you have, 300 seniors, and that's being in Fort Worth, that's a small amount of seniors.
Right.
If you have 300 seniors and 150 to 200 of those are applying to colleges, a lot of them are going to be applying for the same scholarships.
So it's not just what your local school is going to offer. There are tons of scholarships outside of the ISD that you go to.
And, a lot of our students don't look at that. They look at, okay, what do they have here that I can look at? Now, what are parents' responsibilities as far as scholarships are concerned?
For parents, we just have to make the time. We have to make the time to schedule college prep as part of our students' high school education. Because we can't wait until second semester of 12th grade to try to take care of a year's worth of college funding.
Oh, yeah.
As well as applying for colleges. We need to schedule when that's going to be done and then be consistent with that college prep process. And that's one of the things that my company offers, because if parents are working and kids are in school and they have after school programs,
yes,
and they add church to the equation, they're not being able to find enough time to take care of college prep.
Okay. All right. And we have quite a few people listening. We have Miss Sandra Green. I know you know her. We have Clarence and we have Linda. Let's see. Oh, Sandra said, "Hey, ladies," and Linda says, "Hello, everybody." So, think about it. When you've got kids that's getting ready to go to college, let's not wait till the last minute. Right. Now, I asked you what parents are responsible for, but what kind of things are parents going to have to provide when they're looking at their children going to college? I mean, information that they're going to have to provide when the kid is applying for a scholarship or filling out the FAFSA,
When they're filling out the FAFSA, which is free grant money that comes from our government, the parents' taxes play a major part of filling out those applications.
Which is getting less and less.
Right. And what happens with those applications is that it jumps from the parent portion to the student portion. I recommend and suggest strongly that parents sit down with their students and do it together.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure they're filling out the proper information. I had a student that put his dad's information financially down as his information.
Oh, okay.
And then they couldn't understand why he wasn't offered any Pell Grants or any grants. And it was because he showed that he made $71,000, and it wasn't him, it was his dad.
Okay.
So it's a very specific questions, looking at the 1040 and answering them properly in order for them to be eligible for a lot of different grants throughout the state in which the student is going to school.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. But, the parents have to provide that information.
Correct.
To the student. But you're right. They should sit down with their student and fill this out, because that's not the counselor's job.
No.
That's not the college that they're applying to job. The college is going to tell you what you don't have in lines of paperwork, not what you do have.
Correct.
So that makes a lot of sense. That makes entirely a lot of sense. Now, what types of scholarships are out there? Can you give me some examples?
There are financial need-based scholarships.
Okay.
But there are scholarships based on height.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Height?
Yes, there is a tall kid scholarship.
Really?
I have not found a short kid scholarship, but there is a tall kid scholarship. They're based on ethnicity.
Okay.
They're based on GPA, based on SAT and ACT scores, based on different majors that our students are interested in, based on the volunteer hours that our students consistently find time for. But there are tons of them that are just general.
Okay.
Some of them are just contests, sweepstakes.
Oh, okay.
Reading a book, creating the front of a greeting card.
Really?
So it's not all writing essays.
Really? 'Cause I noticed last year when I was doing my scholarship thing, they had like kids that were doing things in environmental service, and you just have to put down your project, what it was that you did, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, I bet a lot of students don't apply for this type of scholarship because they don't know it's out there.
There's one now called Voice of Democracy, and it's about what makes America great.
Oh.
And for our high school students, even though they want you to write an essay, you have to create a 3 to 5 minute audio
Really?
as part of your submission. So there are some very interesting ones, and sadly, those are the ones that just get left on the table. You know,
Wow.
our kids want no essays.
Yep.
They want easy, they want quick, but we want someone to give us $5,000 or $10,000. We have to put some effort in.
I know I had one of my sweet counselors was telling me that she was going over a student's essay, and several portions of the student's essay was written like they were texting,
That's right.
and that's a problem.
It is a problem.
Because you've got to write a proper essay, and you've got people out there that think this is how I'm supposed to write, but it's getting there. It's working with those kids, and that's what you do. But if you have any questions for Miss Gail, the scholarship lady, not her number. The number here at Fishbowl for All About STEM Radio is 214-431-5062. That's 214-431-5062. Now, you mentioned there were all types of scholarships out there.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know one of the things that my younger niece did, she also looked for scholarships that were based on her mother's career, where her mother worked, because my sister worked for the U.S. Postal Service. And I know there are scholarships for military children from the various VFWs and so on and so forth. Do a lot of students know that those kind of scholarships are out there based on what type of career field their parents are in?
No. Our kids they're just not aware.
Uh-huh.
And researching can be a little stressful for them because they don't necessarily know what they're looking for.
Yep. Okay.
And if you tell them Burger King has a scholarship, but it's under haveityourway.com, how is a student supposed to know that? So it does take a lot of research. It takes a lot of patience and consistency to be able to find them. And then, is it hard copy or can you do it online? And then what are the eligibility requirements? And then submitting everything that they ask for. Not 9 out of 10, but all 10.
Yes.
As well as getting your essay edited.
Yes.
If not by me, by an English teacher, by your parents, and make sure we answer the question to the best of our ability.
Yes.
If they say 125 words or less, and we're looking for $2,000, we're not giving them 25 words.
Yes. Yes.
We don't necessarily have to do 125, but 25 words, you're not going to be able to express yourself as best as you should. So we do have to put some effort into it once we do find them. I've been doing this 9 years. I have a database that I can't even keep up because there are just so many scholarships out there. I'm consistently adding to it.
Okay. So you're looking for scholarships every day,
Every day.
every single day.
And then I have people that email me scholarships, or I just come across one. So there are a lot of organizations that will email me and say, no student applied. Can you please
Really?
get one of your students who qualify to apply?
No sororities. I mean, you got sororities, fraternities, you've got companies, you've got businesses. And then on the other hand, you spoke of something earlier. Miss Linda say, this is valuable information, and she's typing people's names in here so they can join the show. if you want anybody to follow this show today, please click share on your Facebook page, and they can also get in on the link. But I said that real quickly. But anyway, what was I was thinking about something and my brain just stopped. Oh, based on your career field, you also have a lot of scholarships out there. If you want to get a degree in nursing, there are nursing scholarships. There are STEM scholarships. There are English scholarships.
Bowling scholarships.
Bowling.
So you just got to go to Google and put the information in. But for all students, ask your parents to go to their employer and say, is there a scholarship available for my student? If the students are working, go to your employer and say, do you have any scholarships that are available? Whoever you bank with, go to the bank and say, are there scholarships available?
I never thought about the banks.
Your fitness club, Planet Fitness, had a scholarship this summer.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And
wow.
It was also to encourage students to sign up, to give them something to do during the summer. But by them signing up, it put them into a $5,000 scholarship.
That is just, I mean, this is a lot of good information.
If you go to church,
a lot of good information. Yeah, churches.
Most churches have it.
Because churches have become very involved in education lately, and I love that. I've got to have a show of churches.
Yes.
Have them come on and talk about getting kids into school. Now, we've talked about the responsibilities of the counselors and the parents. Now, I want to ask the question. I know a lot of schools have their own specific scholarships also. Where would students and their parents find out about schools scholarships, like if you want to go to Texas Tech, or if you want to go to TCC, or if you want to go to A&M or Prairie View, specific scholarships that are also held by those schools?
Each school is different.
Yes.
But during the application process, when we're applying to get accepted to the individual schools, I suggest and highly recommend that students apply to college before they walk through the door as a senior in high school.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means July and August, take the time and make the effort. So while we're applying, they have essays that are available for them to write, which puts them into the scholarship opportunity. Some colleges say you have to be accepted first, and then you can apply.
Yes, for theirs.
So it's a matter of reading instructions and then marking your calendar or putting a reminder on your phone to say UNT opens up their scholarship opportunities in October. Now, you may have applied in July or August, but those scholarships may not open up until October.
Okay.
And then it's our responsibility as parents and students to then go back into the website, fill out the general application, and then answer the necessary questions.
And see, that's a good thing too, is scholarships aren't around all year long. They have opening and closing dates. And do they stick very firm to those dates?
The colleges do. On my Google Docs, I have scholarships every single month.
Oh, okay.
January through December, there is something students can work on. But the colleges are very specific. They'll open it up in October. It may close in December. It may not open until February. It'll close in March. But they are very specific about their deadlines. So we have to get in when they open, get the information, get the letters of recommendation, whatever they're requesting, and get it submitted as soon as possible. Do not wait till the deadline because other things may come up in your life, and then you don't have an opportunity to apply.
Okay. Now, when you just mentioned something, letters of recommendation, how important is it for a student to select the proper person to give them a letter of recommendation?
It's extremely important because that's a representation of your behavior and your production throughout your school years with these teachers or with these different organizations.
Yes.
And this is what the colleges look at when they're making a decision to accept you offering you scholarships, as well as different organizations that want to see what type of person you are before they actually award you any funding.
And also, you've got to have these people who can actually write or will write a letter, because sometimes those letters get a little bit, you don't want somebody to write 25 words about you, as opposed to somebody who's going to write a whole page that can explain who you are, what you've done, how you've been academically.
But on the student's level of responsibility,
Yes.
is where we create an educational resume.
Okay.
So when we request a letter of recommendation, we're going to email that person, and we're going to attach their educational resume. And that consists of their academic awards and achievements, any leadership activities, their extracurricular activities, whether it's in school or outside of school, as well as their community service and volunteer activities, and any work experience they have.
Okay.
So this way, the person writing the letter has some substance,
Yes.
has some information about that student over the last couple of years to be able to add to that letter of recommendation.
Okay. I mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm totally enjoying this, because I've written tons of letters of recommendation for colleges, for students, here and in other countries, and I will ask them to send me something that tells me about them. So now I know what I'm supposed to be asking for. Can you
Yes.
send me your
Letter, your educational resume.
your educational resume? Because I would ask for, can you send me a letter or a resume or something so I can pull from, because I would know the kid. But, I would need to know more about them. Now, you talk about the education resume. Do counselors help students to write these? I know in AVID they probably do, which is not a counselor, but the AVID teacher.
They do start to assist them in that process, but I start students in 9th grade in this process, so that we have things going on in 9th grade and 10th grade and 11th grade, because when we go to apply to college, they also need that information as well when you're filling out that application.
And you put on, what kind of things do you put on that?
For academic awards and achievements, if you've received any awards from your school, National Honor Society, A Honor Roll or AB Honor Roll. For your extracurricular activities, drill team, football, choir, chess club, leadership activities, if you've held any position in student council or key club, work experience, depending if a student did work throughout their high school years, and volunteer and community service.
And you just mentioned some things, some of the activities they did. They could also get apply for scholarships for those, like
Yes.
drill team, cheerleader, not just football and basketball and track,
Correct.
but chess club and band, all of those extracurricular activities, and that gives someone like you an opportunity to look at, oh, you've done this, have you thought about a scholarship in that?
Right. And I have students fill out a questionnaire. So they'll give me their hobbies and different things that they're interested in. And I will research those if I don't already have a scholarship for those particular things.
Okay. Now, I'm getting ready to get to you now, because we've talked all around this, and getting a scholarship is a huge, huge thing. So why would someone need someone like you? Okay, who is the scholarship lady and what does she do?
The scholarship lady and team, we have a mission. We are here to assist students as well as parents throughout that college process and journey, so that students don't necessarily have to take out student loans and parents don't have to take out student loans.
Amen.
My daughter was blessed to receive enough funding where they took away her Pell Grants because she was overfunded in scholarships. It is a process. I don't know if it's 10 scholarships or 47 scholarships, but you have to be in it to win it.
Yes.
So in my program, we assist students from age 13 to Medicare age on applying for scholarships We edit the essays. We assist them with setting up the educational resume. I offer volunteer hours every single month in the event that students don't have volunteer opportunities through their school or through their churches. We help them apply to college before they walk through the doors of senior and high school. And even after they've started school, we help them apply because that first application is going to take a minimum of 2 hours.
Oh.
And our teenagers need to understand they want to go to college. We have to be accountable to get this stuff done in a reasonable amount of time so that we can be on the list for scholarships the colleges are offering. And applying for scholarships that they're eligible for based on their grades. So that means we only want A's and B's. We don't want C's and D's hanging out on that transcript.
We don't have D's here. We got C and F.
Oh, okay.
And that's sad.
It is.
Yeah.
We only want A's and B's.
Oh, yeah.
I have a tutor that will assist them if they're having any difficulties, not just with their classes, but ACTs, SATs, as well as STAR testing. We need to take our SATs and our ACTs early so that we can see where our students need help. We should not wait till 12th grade or middle of 11th grade. Let's take it in 9th and 10th grade.
And, and that's what a lot of them do. They wait till they're a senior in high school to take the ACTs or SATs. Now, in high school, they give the PSATs. That's like a mandatory thing.
Correct.
But it's not mandatory, I don't think, for them to take the SAT or the ACT.
No.
But do you help them to understand what those numbers mean on a PSAT?
Yes. And we go through that process with them. On Khan Academy, our students can sign up and take the PSAT at home. The schools help, and we're greatly appreciated by the schools, but they can go onto a website for free and take that PSAT over and over again and see what areas they need to concentrate on because that SAT book is huge.
Is that a practice SAT?
That's a practice.
All right.
But they can take it online at home or in the library in addition to what our schools offer them. So we don't have to wait for specific dates that the schools are offering them. They can take it at home.
Because I know my older son, he did practices at home through the SAT, the college boards itself.
Right.
But he didn't get a whole lot of things until we paid for the membership for him to be able to do that. So.
Well, and when they sign up to take the test, they can also, for an additional fee, of course, request the answers so that they can see what they got wrong so they don't make that same mistake the second time around.
Okay.
If they plan on taking it for the second time.
So they can request the answers for the practice.
For the real test.
For the real test.
After they've taken the real test.
Oh, after they've taken it.
There's an additional fee that you can pay to get those answers.
And people don't know that.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that. So when I'm going back to you and what the wonderful things that you do with these young men and women, when you talk about helping them with scholarships and you talk about their academic resume and volunteer hours and so on and so forth, what is the process for them to work with you?
They just need to sign up. I do private sessions, one-on-one. I do online sessions because I work with students throughout the United States. And then I do small groups. I create a small group. Parents can create a small group. I also do large groups for organizations and churches and boys and girl clubs. But we will start that process wherever the student is, setting up their college board account, researching the schools based on major, not based on college names, but the majors that the students are interested in.
Okay.
We create a college grid so that students understand what those raw costs are for colleges that are in-state, out-of-state, private, and public schools. Once we add those colleges to our college board, now colleges are going to start to look at them. based on if they're free and reduced lunch, we can get waivers for SATs. We can get waivers for applying to college. We can even get our housing deposit covered as well.
Oh,
In Texas, there's probably about 15 different colleges based on household income where we can get the tuition covered. We have to have an SAT score or an ACT score, but we can get some of that tuition covered. Some schools, we can get free tuition as well as free housing based on household income. But it's all a process, and we help them through that process, whichever grade we get them at, so that we can get the most bang for their buck. You know, if there's scholarships for 12th graders, they only come around for 12th graders.
yep.
And I'm not going to give you something to do in October, and it's due in October. We're going to start it in September.
If not before.
Yes,
If it's
not
something that
before.
if
We're
it's
going to
something
stay
that you
ahead of everything, so it's not as stressful because they
Yeah.
still have their schoolwork to do.
Oh yeah.
They still have a social life. They still have extracurricular activities. But I am going to take away some of that social media time so we can apply for some scholarships.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Now, I mean, you're talking about this, but I mean, I know a lot of the school districts, they publish a list of scholarships, but scholarships take work. They take work. They take work and they take time. It's not a relentless amount of work or time, but you've got to do the work. Someone has to. Someone has to help you. And if in cases like my case, luckily I had a sister who had already gone to college and helped me out with filling out paperwork and stuff. A lot of parents, a lot of students have no clue. Or if they've already got college degrees, parents, they haven't looked at that paperwork in 15 to 20 years.
That's right.
Because, if they had their kids, 15, 16 years ago, they haven't looked at that paperwork since they were in college. Has some of that paperwork changed?
I've been doing this for 9 years. It changes every single year. The websites change. When my daughter was going through this process, it was hard copy. We'd have to print it out, fill it out, mail it in. Now, most of them we can do online. But in my program, we go step by step. It's a hands-on experience. They don't have to research scholarships. I do all that work for them. So based on their GPA, based on their ethnicity, based on what grade they're in, based on their hobbies, I provide them with scholarships to work on.
Oh, okay.
I will edit their essays for them, and I will bring up the actual link while we are working. They just have to be dedicated and want to participate.
Now, when we talk about essays, does one essay fit every scholarship? Because that's what a lot of kids say.
No, it does not. The questions are different. There are some that we can reuse, so I do recommend to all students to save every essay that you write.
Okay.
Because this way, when we get a scholarship and there's a question where you wrote that for an English class or you wrote that when you applied to college, we might be able to use it.
Yes.
But there are some where if you could be any flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be? Nobody has that essay sitting around unless they've been in my program and they wrote it 2 years ago or last year.
Wow.
So we may have to start from scratch, but we also assist them in that process. And we give them different ideas and suggestions, and as they're writing, we help to have them express themselves as detailed as possible. Because we have to make our essay interesting to the people that are going to be reading them.
Now, do you also, and this is just one of my off the cuff questions because I'm just thinking about it, do you also have them look at the school that they're wanting to go to? Because I remember back when I was teaching at Jack State in Alabama, we had schools that were select schools and non-select schools. What I mean by that is a school, if you came with a whole slew of scholarships, they put all the scholarships together and you could use all of those scholarships. And then there were schools that you had to pick the particular scholarship that you wanted to use. You couldn't use all of them.
That's back in the day.
Well, no, the schools I'm thinking about are still like that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It depends on if you are awarded scholarships through that school. You may not be able to use outside scholarships.
Okay.
But that's our worst case scenario, that
Yeah.
we're overfunded. For a decent amount of the schools, you will be able to have scholarships that come from outside
Yep.
companies and organizations. But
Yep.
we do research the schools to make sure they have the major. And
Great.
the kid will read that major to make sure it's the same definition that they have in their head.
Great.
We look at the size of the schools because some kids want 2-year, some want 4-year, some want small schools, some want large schools. We look at the state that they're in. For our young ladies, if you want mom and dad to get to you, you can't go 12 hours away from home. They're going to get there, but by the time they get there, whatever you're going through,
May
you may
be
have been
over.
able to deal with.
Yeah.
So we do look at in-state and out-of-state schools based on what they're used to or what they want to do with their life. So we do a lot of research of those individual colleges. I'm connected with someone who actually sets up campus tours.
That's
So
great.
that students as well as parents can walk the campuses of those schools that our students may be interested in.
That's great.
I also try to go on campus tours myself. I'm actually going to Houston in 2 weeks.
Oh.
And I'm going to go to Rice University, U of H, and TSU.
Ooh, can I go? Take me with you.
I want to know what
Take
they're
me
all
with-
about. So when students say, I want to go to Rice University, I've been there. I've seen different things to be able to share with our students.
I've never been to Rice. I have been to TSU. And what was the other one you said you're going to?
U of H.
U of H. I've been to U of H's campus. So, yeah. Let me know what Rice is like.
I will.
Because I hear so much about that school.
And Rice has a very interesting offer right now. If the household income is $65,000 or less, we can get a student a free ride. But your GPA at this
Okay.
particular time has to be a 4.17.
Okay. So you would have had to have taken honors classes.
Honors classes, AP classes, dual credits.
Oh, I mean AP, you're right.
But you just had to be a serious student about
Yeah.
your own grades.
Wow. Now, we're talking about this, and you made the comment that you get scholarships from various levels of their education. Now, once you get these scholarships to enter college, and this is what I'm wanting my guests to please understand. Once you get these scholarships to get into college, do they reoccur, or do you have to continue to apply for money for the next year and the next year and the next year?
Some scholarships are renewable. If they are renewable, you still have to reapply.
Okay.
You have to fill out another application. You have to write another essay, and you have to submit it before the deadline.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, and we learned that the hard way. My daughter received 6 scholarships. 2 of them were not renewable. 4 were renewable. We didn't look at the deadline date for one of them, and she submitted it late.
Okay.
And she called, and she cried, and she pleaded, and they said, sorry, but you can apply again next year. So that was $2,000 that we did not receive, but because you continuously apply for scholarships, she was awarded something else to cover that difference.
Okay. So you're saying like non-renewable, you get a scholarship as a freshman, you're not going to get that same money as a as a sophomore the next year. If it's renewable, you have to make sure you hit the right deadline to apply for that same scholarship so you'll get it for the next year.
Correct.
Okay. And do they have scholarships that go for your whole college, your whole time in college?
Yes,
Your
there
whole 4
are
years?
some major scholarships like the Gates Millennium, the
Okay.
Coca-Cola, Ronald McDonald, where you can get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Military science, y'all. ROTC, Air Force, Army, Navy. Okay.
But depending on which school you go to, it may cover for 4 years, it may cover for 1 year.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what that tuition, room and board, and meal plan cost. So I do recommend students not to think it's over.
Yeah.
Once they get to college, we still have to apply for more scholarships to make sure we're covered throughout the entire 4 years, 6 years, or 8 years, depending on how long
It
their
takes,
particular program is.
Yeah, because a lot of them think, oh, I got this scholarship, I'm good, I can go to college, and then the next year they're looking, oh my goodness, how I'm going to pay for that, how I'm going to pay for the next year and the next year. Because I have a young lady that was one of my students, and she got $297,000 in scholarships,
Awesome.
but it wasn't enough.
Right. That's why I said depends
wasn't
on
enough.
what the tuition, room and board, and meal plan will cost you.
Well, she was for the 4 years, but she was the queen of scholarships, and she was able to graduate with no debt.
Awesome.
I mean, smart enough, great enough, and was able to graduate with no debt.
Well, and I have been blessed to find scholarships where if you're paying for your loans, there are scholarships that you can apply for to bring down your student loan debt.
Okay, explain that to me.
There are scholarships where if you have already graduated
Okay.
from college and you are still paying off your associate's degree, your bachelor's degree, master's degree, you can apply to be awarded money to assist you in paying down your student loan debt. So you can be awarded a scholarship that
I
will
did
go
not know that existed.
directly against your student loan debt. I didn't know they existed either. That's why I said
And how
I've been
did somebody-
blessed,
how did
because
you-
as I'm researching for something, this comes across, and I do review them,
Yes.
and because there's a lot of scams, so students
Okay.
have to be careful. You have to be careful where you put your social security number on some of these scholarships. But a couple of them came across, and I just started digging and digging, and there are quite a few. Some of them are based on civil service jobs,
Okay.
or if you're a teacher. But there are some that the requirement is just that you have a degree. So there is money for us.
Wow.
Who's paying our student loan debt to get some of that paid down for you.
Wow. I know you just saw the look on my face, or if you're looking Facebook Live. This conversation has gone so well. We have 2 minutes left in the show.
Really?
2 minutes left in the show. I cannot believe it. Oh, my goodness. You're going to have to come back because, a lot of our kids are wanting to go to college, and parents are trying to figure out how to assist them in paying for it. So I'm going to give you I'm going to give you at least a minute.
Okay.
Tell my audience anything that you want to tell them to help them to become successful in their scholarship, adventure and finding how to go to school.
They can research on their own. They can talk with their counselors, or they can contact the scholarship lady.
Okay, how do they contact the
I've
scholarship
done all
lady?
the legwork. They can go to Instagram, the scholarship lady, all lowercase. They can call my scholarship lady phone number, which is 817-823-4679.
Say that again.
817-823-4679.
Hold this card up.
I'm on LinkedIn under Valerie Gill. I'm on Facebook. I have a Valerie Gill as well as the scholarship lady. Social media, as well as I'm having a hands-on experience on November the 2nd at the Duncanville Hilton and Garden Inn. It's going to be 6 hours where we are going to work with at least 50 students.
Okay.
We're going to be giving away a free color printer as well as a laptop, because not all of our students have laptops. But we will get the process started with students or continue with them wherever they are in that process.
Okay. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been Miss Valerie Gill, and I'm not quite through yet. I got a minute. I'm going to take all my time. She is the scholarship lady, and she works with students not only here in the DFW area, but all over the U.S. She has programs that she'll work with you. I mean, college is not cheap.
No.
I was lucky because I was in the military, and they changed the system so I didn't have to pay for my kids to go to college. The military took care of that tuition for me. And, they wanted to go to school here, so I didn't have to pay room and board. But we all don't have that. Some of us don't want our kids to go in the military and get a 4-year or a 2-year or 3-year ROTC scholarship. And that's wonderful and fine. But there is money out there that does not get used. Valerie, will you give them your phone number, your scholarship lady phone number, one more time before we get off here?
817-823-4679, or my website, scholarshipladyusa.com.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, someone posted your phone number on here already. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Scholarship Lady on All About STEM Radio. I come to you, don't forget, every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. here on the Blue Stream, and I'll be back again next week. So, bye-bye.